Good morning from Jonesboro, Arkansas, 6:57 a.m., February 16th, 2024. And today we're going to talk about hate. People's hate for electric cars. And it's the most mind-boggling thing because there's no reason to hate them. Absolutely zero. If your neighbor wants to drive an electric car and you have no use for one and you can't understand why they'd want one, then why would you care? I believe it was Benjamin Franklin, might have been Thomas Jefferson. I believe it was Benjamin Franklin that said, if it does not pick my pocket or break my leg, then what does it matter to me? Them driving an electric car doesn't affect you in any way, but somehow so many people absolutely hate electric cars. And dare I say it, hate the people that drive them. That may be a little bit of a stretch. But if you punish someone because of the choices they make in life and those choices don't affect you, then you really need to take a good look at yourself. Do you hate that person? That could be debatable. I could see where somebody say no, but yeah, I don't know. You make the call on that. I'm just asking the question. I want to show you what someone put in a my Facebook page recently. Where's the blow up button? Here we go. Now, if you put something on Facebook, then the person talking about it, posting it, does not have an obligation to cover your name up. I did this because it's a family member. But this is public. Once you put it out there, you have given up any expectation of privacy. But still, because it's a family member, I covered up their name. Look what they said. This is in response to just a mild EV post I made about how good they are. I didn't even slurp all over them. All right. And it says, if an EV works for you, I say buy a golf cart because batteries are cheap. And like an EV, you can't go on a real road trip. You're stuck having to plan ahead for chargers. I just stop and buy gas 15 minutes later and I go 500 miles. No worries about it. More gas stations are open. I responded, I'm glad you're happy with your gas car. Congratulations. And he responded, I know I really do have a problem with EV cars. Here's what gets me. I promise. See, and I really believe this. I don't think he was just speaking I don't think he's just being flippant. I think he was being serious. I promise, if I see one broken down, the driver is not going to get help from me. And this is in Arkansas where you're supposed to help your fellow man. If you sit on the side of the road here very long, you'll probably get some help. It'll be 100 cars pass you, but eventually somebody will stop. But no, not him. I promise if I see one broken down, the driver is not going to get help from me. They signed up for an electric ride, and I can't offer them one. So because they made a different choice than he approved of, he's going to punish them by letting them sit on the side of the road. And I almost asked him, what if it's a lady roughly 9 months pregnant? I don't think it would have mattered. I don't think it would have mattered one lick. He probably would have said, well, she can call her husband or the baby daddy. Probably what he would have said. I wish I had put that out there just to see, but I don't think it would matter. And I really believe they would. And there are reports of people parking their gas vehicles in electric charging spots. You know, what are they trying to prove? What a jackass they are? They walk away, oh, let's see these liberals charge these cars now. Okay, you're a jackass. A lot of states, you can get a ticket for that. Not Arkansas. Arkansas, you can't even get a ticket for parking in a handicap spot. I talked to an officer about that once. He said, unless the property owner complains, we will not do anything about violations on private property, such as Walmart. And Walmart management is not about to call and complain about someone being in a handicap spot when they don't need to be. So, yeah, there is no price to pay in Arkansas for parking in a handicap spot, not being handicapped at Walmart, Kroger, Lowe's, wherever. Except for the fact you should feel like a jackass. But you probably don't if you're the top that would do that. So anyway, Ted Nugent. Well, what do you know about Uncle Ted? Uncle Ted's always been a jackass. But I love his music. And I'm not one of these people that cancel people because they say something I don't like. I still listen to Ted Nugent. I still think he's an awesome performer. But he's, let's face it, he's kind of a prick. Always has been. And so anyway, he says Here's about global warming. You have to have shit for brains to believe in global warming. If you believe it, you have shit for brains. While you were sleeping, someone opened your skull, took a dump inside your skull. First off, it sounds like something the third grader would say. Seriously. It sounds juvenile. Especially this part right here about opening your... That just sounds juvenile. But, let's see. Where is it? Somewhere in here, he talks about how if you believe in electric cars. He broke it down to just electric cars. Where did that go? Anyway, he pretty much said... If you believe in the electric car movement, then you have shit for brains. You have to be mentally ill. Yeah, here you go. You have to be mentally ill to believe in electric cars. I believe in electric cars. I'm mentally ill, according to Uncle Ted. As Joan Jett said once, he's the one that has to live in his skin, and that's punishment enough. She said that after he also said you had to have shit for brains to put her in the top 100 greatest guitarists of all time. He didn't like it because Rolling Stone named her number 80-something greatest guitarist of all time. When I hear her play guitar, I don't hear it. I don't hear a top 100. But she's fine. And, you know, that's a whole nother thing. Who cares what Rolling Stone said? Why would Uncle Ted care? But still, he had to open his mouth. And and I love Joan Jett. She's awesome. And I love Ted Nugent as far as his music. If me and Uncle Ted were if we were stuck in a room together for 12 hours, say an elevator, then he'd probably kill me. He'd probably go to prison. We could not get along because I bet you, I know somebody like this. There's somebody in the family like this, and it's not me. I hope not. They always believe they're the smartest person in the room. 4 myths from electric vehicle haters and why they're wrong. And this is from Forbes. I could have swore I've seen some pretty bad anti-EV stuff from Forbes magazine, but I'm not going to swear to that. You know, maybe I haven't. But this just talks about EVs and why EV haters are wrong. And I love this. First off, you see this picture before? That's not even a lithium mine. That is a copper mine, according to Forbes magazine. But I had somebody recently, here's something else somebody said. They said that me and my ilk, they didn't use that term. They said me and my fellow EV enthusiasts are helping promote slave labor because of stuff like this, the mines and stuff. They take children in there and force them against their will. They're slaves in Central America or somewhere and force them to get that stuff out. And I immediately turned it around on him, talking about his cell phone. And before you know it, we got into a pretty heated debate. And he wanted to just say, you know, someone said, throw your cell phone away. Throw it away. It's, you know, by using it, you're promoting child slave labor. And he said, I don't care. He was getting pretty frustrated. And so we dropped the conversation. But anyway, it's not true. But according to Forbes, you know, and I would put a link to this, but every time I do, YouTube sends me an email and it says, okay, you goofy bastard. You put a link to some spam, and we don't allow that. It seems like anytime I do, that's what they do. And they're like, this is not a strike against you. You're cool with us, but your link sucks, and we're taking it down, and you're a moron. That's pretty much what the email says. Don't do it again. Okay, so I'm not putting a link up. However, there's no need to resort to blah, 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 blah. There are 2 main sources of lithium, and mines are only one of them. The other is brine water. In other words, the sea. The vast majority, 87% of lithium, comes from this source, which involves a lengthy evaporation process that doesn't involve child labor at all. Oh, man, you know what? The EV haters aren't going to like that, because I'm telling you, there are some EV haters out there that wouldn't mind too much children actually being enslaved. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's unfair, but I'm telling you, these people want to be right so bad, and they want EVs to be so evil, so badly they want EVs to be evil, that, you know, it's just, okay, that's just what we got to put up with in order for them to be bad. You know, I mean, seriously, man. Anyway, there's no child labor at all. There is absolutely loads of lithium around with vast reserves in Chile, Australia, and China. So we're unlikely to run out, and you can bet none of these people complaining about the lithium and EVs have complained about its use in the over 6 billion mobile phones. That's what I told that guy before I read this. You better throw your mobile phone away. He wasn't interested. No, those children can stay in slavery as long as he can get on Facebook with his phone and spread all kinds of bullshit. That's fine. And 1 billion laptops. There you go. Throw your laptop away. Cobalt's the other rare mineral that gets people wound up about EVs. But there's a solid financial reason why EV makers are reducing and eventually hope to eliminate cobalt from their batteries. It's usually expensive and one of the main contributors to the comparatively high purchase price of EVs. Yeah, so, they're slowly getting rid of it and it's slowly getting better. So maybe eventually those poor children will be freed. EVs are a fire hazard. Now, we all know this. Every time somebody says, well, your EV gonna catch on fire, I say, well, Hyundai and Kia just recalled, I think, 400,000 EV gas cars and said park them outside. They could catch on fire, even if they're not started. I know I say fire stupidly. Fire. So you better get, your gas car too. I mean, it runs on something explosive. But it pretty much says that it's all a bunch of hooey. You can pause this and read it if you want to. And it says that gas cars actually catch on fire more often than electric cars. As a matter of fact, they go on to say that you're actually safer in an electric car if it catches on fire because it takes longer for it to spread than a gas car does, giving you more time to escape. But it does burn differently. It does. And I can't remember what it said about that. 20 times as many EVs in China caught on fire. Wait a minute. 269 million cars in USA in 2016, meaning that 1 in 1,569 fossil fuel cars caught fire in 2016. Nearly 20 times as many as EVs in China. Wonder why they didn't mention EV fires in America. They mentioned the gas car fires in the USA, but then they switched to EVs in China. Now, the EV haters are going to take that as evidence that they're just using a numbers game here. I don't know why. There's also 2.9 deaths per 1,000 highway fires, so fossil fuel cars are not only far more likely to catch fire than EVs, they're far more likely to kill you as a result. That's talking about, getting out of them. EVs only last a few years. Well, you better be ready to replace that battery every 50,000 miles. I've heard that so many times. And it doesn't matter if you tell them that's not true. They're not going to listen. Tell me another one, buddy. Tell me another one. I know better. Yeah, you don't know crap. Anyway, it talks about how the average car has 10% average battery degradation over 160,000 miles. But you take one car, one Tesla, that needs a new battery in 80,000 miles, and the whole EV hating community is going to go insane with glee. I have a family member. They had a GMC Terrain. The engine pretty much blew up after 60 or 70,000 miles. It was covered under warranty. They had to completely overhaul the engine, and that would not make national news. No way. And it was an outlier. That's not normal. But if it had been an EV, it had been presented as normal. And they talk about how they're too expensive, and they talk about how they are actually coming down in price, and the battery makes up about 30% of the cost of the EV. They are getting cheaper all the time, and it conflates it with, how much cheaper they are to drive. But I'm telling you, on the used market, it says in here that used EVs hold their value very well, and they're still kind of expensive. But I'm telling you, I got my Kia Niro EV, full EV. It was 2 years old when I bought it. Yeah, 2 years old when I bought it. I think, it may be 3. I think it was 2. 2 years old when I bought it. 15,000 miles, $26,000. At that time, they make a gas version. It would have been at least that. I really believe it would have been at least that much money. So I don't think I paid any more for my car. But there are people who key electric cars because they're electric. There are a lot of people who've gotten busted because Tesla has Sentry mode. You go up on it, start messing with it, they're going to start recording you. Been tons of people recorded. Now, you never know if 100% of them are because it's electric, but I guarantee you some of them are. I guarantee a lot of them are. People have vandalized electric charging stations. And to play devil's advocate, a lot of things get vandalized. I don't want to be one of these people that's always playing the victim. There could be they may have just done it just because they don't hate EVs just because. But I guarantee you some of that vandalism is because they were EV haters. And I bet you a majority of it is for that reason. But anyway, Uncle Ted, yep, you're right. I guess I guess somebody has taken a dump in my brain. I don't know. And yes, I am helping keep children in slavery, I guess, and all this. And anyway, EV hatred's gotten out of control. It has. When you're not going to help somebody in distress because they're driving an electric car, that says more about you than it does the person in distress. I promise you. You may think you sound cool. You may think you sound awesome. You may think you sound tough. It's not true. It's just not true. Matter of fact, I kind of feel bad for them. I really do. I kind of feel bad for them because, whoops. I guess I closed the picture. Anyway, I kind of feel bad for them. So, all right. Hey, y'all have a good day. Screw the haters. Don't worry about them. You can't control how they feel. Don't engage them. I wouldn't engage them. I wouldn't talk to them. I wouldn't debate them. I'd just be like, okay, if somebody tells me, like once before somebody said, you wait till you get your electric bill, it's going to triple. And I've been driving electric cars for 5 years, and, my electric bill don't go up that much. Oh, yeah, sure it don't. Tell me another one. I'm like, okay, he just called me a liar. He just said I was purposely spreading false information. So that was the end of the conversation. I was done with him. And I've had people tell me that before. When I tell them my experience, most of them don't say, tell me another one or call me a liar. Most of them are just like, really? And they seem surprised. And you can tell they're not sure whether they should believe you or not. But they don't openly accuse you of straight out lying. But anyway, all right. Haters are going to hate. There's nothing you can do about them. Screw them. Mock them. Make fun of them. All right. You have a good day. Thanks for watching.